Hello, everyone out there in the interweb lands of interwebs. I am Complacent Badger.
I'm Syracilo.
And I'm Gimpy.
Gimpy helping us out for another game. We're watching Tasty Action versus This Isn't Hockey.
This should be pretty good. I think that the teams are fairly well balanced. You have a good all-around team with the human team, and then you have that little extra agility of the Amazons, but this should be fairly straightforward. Both virgin teams to the league, I should say. Tasty Action is a veteran coach with us, so I think that that'll make a little bit of a difference. He's got the ogre right there, so I think that overall it should be pretty well balanced, right?
Yeah, it should be a pretty close game. The Tasty Action having a modest armor value increase above the Amazons, but the Amazons having that dodge, which I think is a little better than armor value, just because reducing all those defender stumbles down to pushes. So it's going to be really tough to get those Amazons down.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge, is trying not to super bash if you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Play just a smart, tactical, careful ball movement game. So
yeah. And you also have to watch out. It's a little under the radar, but because all of the catchers on the Amazon teams have catch standard, they're actually halfway decent interceptors.
Yep, that's a good point. I think that the interception is a big something that people forget about. You know, you just kind of take advantage of it, and if you make good passes, you're not usually throwing over people too terribly often, but that when it happens, you hate to be surprised by it, because then you feel kind of silly, you know.
Mm-hmm. So what's the team value difference on these two teams?
After this game, it's 100.
Okay.
In favor of This Isn't Hockey.
So probably about the same. So This Isn't Hockey having probably a little higher team value. Well, no, most likely not. Probably nothing more than a 50,000 difference. Yeah. So the team value should only been 50 different between the two teams, because I know one of the upgrades that was picked up by This Isn't Hockey. And
yeah, but bottom line, you're saying that team values are even, but
yeah, as even as you can expect when it's midway through the season.
Yeah.
Looked like that turnover was caused by a failed dodge, allowing Tasty Action a pretty good spearhead, keeping those fundamentals, getting that cage built, moving forward. And like that, being a little aggressive with those catchers. You got dodge, use it, get it in there.
Yep, but at the same time, they're low on strength.
Yes.
So
and
you got to be a little bit careful with that.
Well, it's one of those things, like, if you're gonna pick them up, you got to just play with them. I mean, they're strength too, yeah, but if you're not gonna use them and you're not gonna use them aggressively, getting into the opponent's end zone, then there's no point in picking them up.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. That it's one of those things you can't have, and that's why I don't really like having more than one catcher or thrower on a team, because one of them always gets preferential treatment because you're trying to get those star player points early.
I'm the opposite.
And then,
I think catchers are pretty useless unless you bring them in teams, because you have what's happening right now where you get 3 players on your one catcher. Catchers are only beneficial when you just litter the backfield with them, because it just ends up being that your catcher never gets the ball if he's the only catcher.
See, I don't know if I've seen that as true. I mean, I know that you've definitely played a lot more Blood Bowl than I have, and that's significant. But
well, and I've played primarily elves in my career.
Yeah.
Dark elves. Now we weren't trying to go for the long game, but I did for any passing attempts. I noted that it was difficult to get the passing game down if you didn't have multiple receivers all the time.
And from a new coach standpoint, it's so confusing to me when you've got 2 or 3 people that you have to guard, because odds are they're probably going to catch out on you anyway, so do I have to worry about possibly getting the interception, or do I have to worry more about the dodge after? And with 2 or 3 people, it's so difficult to guard everybody to the point where they won't just score easily.
Yeah.
With one guy, that's basically what I've done, just surround him with 3 or 4 people, and good luck with the other guys.
Yep.
Yeah, their agility is the same as all the other players on the human team, though, right?
Yes. Their only benefit is they do come with movement allowance 8, I believe, and then their dodge and catch to start with, which...
Correct.
So dodge and catch are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
See, I just don't know if it's worth them, because they're not useful in any other capacity than
Catching.
His particular catcher also had block.
Yeah, he does have it block where that is a catcher that is hard to put down. Oof. So looking at 2 injuries already, but also looking that Takes the Action isn't throwing a lot of blocks. He's doing a good job protecting his ball carrier, but it's just raining pushes.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. That's pretty tough. Especially because he's got to work a little bit harder to get 2 die on it.
Oof. Bonehead.
And that loner.
Bonehead failure and then the loner.
God, bonehead, my bad.
But it was loner that lost the reroll.
Right, and I never re-roll a guy with the loner. It's so hard. You got to roll a 4+.
Yeah.
And then you're still dealing with a re-roll. So
yeah.
it looks like This Isn't Hockey's doing a really good job of just being a menace.
Yeah. Really strong presence around the cage and just being close. But a handoff and a rollout and try to reform the cage could work in this situation.
I can't.
Yeah,
attest.
that's what I got to do, because he's got the 3 Amazons on the right-hand side. He's got a better odds of moving to the left there. There's a lot of field.
And I think he was trying to get set up there, but he failed that dodge roll.
Yeah, I think that what we're seeing here, he's just a little too insistent on a traditional cage. And he's using 5 players to create that cage.
Well, and that ogre for a while. It was
That's 6.
Yeah. And then you have your ball carrier in the center. So 7 players on protecting this ball, which This Isn't Hockey. He's not going to get the ball. But I don't think that's his main objective right now, is to get the ball. I think it's to stop the touchdown.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job at that. And that's really a great situation for him, is he's not taking a lot of damage because he's not being engaged.
Yeah, he kind of
very often.
1 or 2 of those players kind of gets lined up against 3 Amazons. The Amazons just kind of put him down real quick.
Yeah, and as soon as you can get a 1-player advantage, and then you waterfall across, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
This Isn't Hockey is doing a really good job of just rolling his players through to get that advantage across the entirety of the perimeter.
Well, it seems like it would be tough for Tasty Action anyway, because only 4 players, after his catcher has been knocked out, have block. So knocking players down, which is a nice way to run the ball, is almost out of the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he just lost a lot of momentum on that drive, and it was because he was pretty insistent on maintaining that cage and not setting up for the kind of flow out and get out of there.
Right, he really needed to be engaging the opponent on offense to get them. You want them to dodge away from you and not really try to engage and hit as much as they've been doing.
Mm-hmm. All right, so no score, so it's not the worst thing that could happen. Got a lot of you can make some ground now.
So Tasty Action is 8 players on the pitch.
Yes. Due to the KO and 2 injuries, one of which was the catcher getting knocked off the pitch. Actually,
Yeah.
it wasn't even knocked off the pitch. It was right there on that sideline.
Yeah, and that's that. I don't know. See, I don't know if sacrificing 2 strength points, because he's got 2 catchers.
He only has 1 catcher.
One catcher.
He only has 1
thrower.
catcher?
Yeah.
I think it would have been more difficult for them if he had 2 catchers. He would have sent both of them running down, and you can't dedicate 6 people to that and still stop the run.
Yeah. They would have either pulled more people off of one catcher to put on the other, which would have made it a little easier to catch, or it would have pulled off the cage, which would have made it easier for the cage to move forward. And I think it might be a treasury thing that he just hasn't picked up another catcher yet.
Yeah, they are fairly expensive, aren't they?
I think they're at 70.
His is level 2 with block. That's 90.
Yeah, so that's a 20,000 upgrade. So yeah, they're 70 base. All right, so he's got a pretty good hold on that left side, but he might be playing too hard on that left side because he's completely open right here with this line woman, and there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to be able to catch her. They got 1 player potentially, but he opted to take it out and free the catcher itself. So, yep, and that's a touchdown. Opting to go for a couple blocks first, though. Yeah, and that's what happens when you don't put only 1 player on the catcher, and then leaving people open to assist the catcher.
Yeah, he played that too tight. He didn't play agility defense, I don't think. He played a running game defense.
Yeah, he was. He had a definite player disadvantage. I think he had a 3-player disadvantage. So getting that tied up just made it even worse.
Yeah, that's hard.
And This Isn't Hockey just he did exactly what he needed to do. He saw that there was a lot of resistance on one side of the field, so he went to the other. The one benefit for Tasty Action, though, that was a very fast score. So he does have about 5 turns to score now.
And he's looking pretty good. So having that agility style player with that catcher is going to be beneficial. So I think that what I'd like to see him do is not throw the catcher too far down the field.
Well, his
leave him all by his lonesome.
For this game, his catcher's out of the game. It was an injury.
I know, but just in general, you know, because I think that he just put that catcher all the way out without putting any defense around him.
Yeah.
Because with the movement allowance that player has, I don't think you need to put him that far down the field to get. If you put him even with the opposing players, he can outrun most of them.
Yeah, but to get a touchdown, you got to get at least behind their line, and if you're behind the line, they're going to get to you no matter what. It's the thing of if you can get the catcher back there with a lineman or 2 as well, and then spread them out on the backfield, it's going to be tough to stop that. And those linemen, they have the same odds of catching as the catcher does. They just don't get the free reroll. It's the same roll though.
Yep.
And that's usually why I don't get catchers, is because they don't have an agility bonus. But then again, when I run humans, I run 14 linemen, so.
Yeah. It's a lot of linemen.
Yeah. They're cheap, man. I think they're 50,000 apiece.
They are.
Yeah.
But they come with nothing.
Yes, they do. They come with nothing.
So what do the catchers come with? What are their upgrade?
The catchers upgrade, what they're allowed to upgrade with,
Yeah.
is general and agility.
Okay.
And they
And the
come,
linemen,
the linemen are only allowed general to upgrade.
general.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's the big deal is you got to get that catcher upgraded.
Mm-hmm. And he's doing a good job. He's already got it level 2. He's got block, which was a pretty good choice. Probably the best choice if he didn't get doubles or any stat bonuses right off the bat. Block keeps that catcher standing up. Obviously, we didn't see that, but block is supposed to keep that character standing up.
Yeah, that's and we've seen that time and time again that block saves a lot of folks. Very, very much sought after.
Mm-hmm. So reforming his cage, gaining 2 yards on that. A lot of lateral movement. Finding that area of least resistance.
See, I wouldn't have played the back corners the way that he played them. I'd have left that guy out a little more.
I'm talking about this one? The
back right.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so that they can't close on your right side. Keep them out in more of a agility cage.
Yeah, I think that's what... I don't know if we've ever talked about that agility cage, but this is like that 4-corner post bed is more of a bash cage, and he's taking a lot of damage there, but the idea is that if you play just a little bit looser, people aren't going to be able to just knock your guy off the corner like you did right there.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to, when they hit you, they're going to hit you, and then they're going to be stopped outside of...
Oh, why? Oh, he had a perfect setup to get a decent cage to roll in there, and he still had a turn afterwards. And he went for those going for it's to try to go for the touchdown now. Oof.
Yeah, I'd hate to see that.
Wait, did he have a turn?
Yeah, this is his last turn right now.
Oh.
Yeah. He could still get the touchdown. He's gonna have to pass it with a lineman or just anybody without pass. Here it goes. And last turn it was a 3+ between the difference of a tie game and not a tie game. So that's a close game.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, for tasty action, just don't be afraid to flush out of that cage. Don't get so stuck on it. You've got your fundamentals down. We've seen throughout the season that you've increased your ability with your fundamentals and you understand them. But now is the time where you grow out of using the fundamentals as a crutch and you utilize them as a tool.
Yeah, the difference in do it because that's what you're supposed to do and doing it because you have a really good grasp of why you're doing it. And then you can still have the same intentions without doing the same movements. And yeah, I think you used too many people in the cage. You could have spread the cage a little bit, created a little bit of a pocket. And we did talk about that a little bit in the week 4 games.
Yeah.
Not having to really make that cage, and especially in that last cage that he had, is a good example of that, where he could have kept that back corner player out a little bit, and it wouldn't have been menaced the way that it was menaced. It probably would have ended with the same result, because This Isn't Hockey was playing super good cage breaking defense there, but that's what we want to look for, is if you're going to be playing that against an agility team, we need to make a little bit bigger bubble around the ball carrier. Try to invite them to think that they can dodge in and then hit your ball carrier instead of just hitting the corners and menacing you that way. But
yeah. And for This Isn't Hockey, I don't have too much, man. That was he played a game that he wasn't offered a lot of attempts to make mistakes. Tasty Action didn't take too many risks and kept that cage, and This Isn't Hockey wasn't baited he knew not to go in there. He knew that time was on his side as a defensive player. So that was really good on you for remaining calm. And
Yeah, he stopped that. He stopped the cage from moving for 3 or 4 turns.
And that was just really good. The only thing that I have, obviously he can't argue with results, so tell me to shut up as much as you need. But maybe spread your guys out a little bit. The opponent didn't see the flush out for the catch, so that's that was really good on you. But it was 2 players. If the ball would have dropped, then you really wouldn't have been. If the catch didn't happen, it wouldn't have been it wouldn't have been so good, and you wouldn't have been able to capitalize it even if it made a mistake. And again, I'm just kind of reaching here, just because we didn't get to see any chances for you to make mistakes.
Yep, I'm with that. That was a good observation.
Otherwise, does anybody have anything?
No, I'm it.
I'm good.
All right. Well, we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.
Cheers.